Chapter 1. The first body. The evening was damp and ominous. The city of Shadowson seemed frozen under a thick blanket of fog. Ermek, an experienced detective, was returning home when an urgent call came in. The body of another victim of a mysterious killer had been found in an abandoned factory. The police and forensic experts were already at the scene. Mikhail, Ermek's partner, stood next to the mutilated body of a young girl. "It's him again," Mikhail croaked, lighting a cigarette with trembling fingers. "The sixth victim in 2 months. Everything is as planned." A symbol on the neck. Ermek looked closely at the body. The girl's name was Igorim, a student of the philology department. Her parents reported her missing 3 days ago. A strange symbol was carved on her neck, something similar to an ancient ornament. "Tell me about the other victims," asked Ermek, trying not to give in to horror. Mikhail nodded and began to list. Pavel Smirnov, auto mechanic, killed in his workshop, symbol carved on his chest. The murder weapon was never found. Pavel was known for often arguing with clients. Zana Aliyeva, music teacher, found dead in her apartment. Her neighbor claimed to have seen an unknown man in dark clothes next to her door the day before the murder. Armen Superbayev, businessman, killed in his own office. The note left by the maniac read, "Shadows of the past always catch up." Dinara Kermanova, housewife. Her body was found in the forest. Symbols were carved on her arms and legs. She was known as an active fighter for the environment. Nurlan Akhmetov, former investigator, killed with particular cruelty. A mysterious figure was drawn in blood on the wall of his apartment. All the victims are connected to some secret event from the past, Mikhail frowned. But what this connection is still unclear. Ermek felt that the truth was close, but the maniac was always one step ahead. Chapter 2. The Chase and the Accidental Murder. The next day, Ermek received a message. "I know who's next." The sender was unknown. The message was accompanied by coordinates, an abandoned alley on the outskirts of the city. "Are you coming?" Mikhail asked. "Of course. This is our only chance to escape from this shadow." They headed to the place. As soon as they got out of the car, they heard screams. A woman ran out from around the corner, pursued by a tall man in a black jacket. "Stop!" Ermek shouted, grabbing his gun. A chase through the narrow streets began. Suddenly, the pursuer abruptly turned into the yard and tried to climb over the fence. Mikhail fired into the air. "Stop, or I'll shoot to kill." But the stranger didn't stop. Then Ermek rushed at him, and they both fell to the ground. In the scuffle, the man pulled out a knife. In a fit of self-defense, Ermek fired. The bullet pierced the pursuer's chest. "You killed him," Mikhail whispered. Ermek was breathing heavily. He didn't want to kill, but he had no choice. A dead smile froze on the stranger's face. In his pocket, they found a photo of the next victim, Ermek himself. Chapter 3. The Psychologist and the Maniac. At the station, Ermek met with criminal psychologist Anara, who was helping the police develop a profile of the killer. "It's written all over your face that you're in hell," she said, looking closely at Ermek. "I just killed a man. And he was going to kill me. It means you came too close to the truth." Anar paused. "The maniac feels threatened." "But who is he?" Ermek clenched his fists. "Why does he kill?" Anar thought about it. All the victims are somehow connected to the past. Perhaps this is not just a maniac, but a person who is trying to restore justice. Or his own twisted version of justice. "Do you think he kills out of revenge?" asked Mikhail. "Maybe. But the main thing is that he plays with you. He enjoys this game," answered Anar. Ermek felt that the secret was still eluding them. Chapter 4. Denouement. The next day, Ermek and Mikhail received a new message. "The end is near. Meet me at the factory." They went there immediately. It was dark and damp inside. Metal debris and old equipment were scattered everywhere. "Be ready," Mikhail whispered. Suddenly, a man stepped out of the shadows. It was a man with a distorted face and crazy eyes. He was holding a knife in his hands. "You're late, Ermek," the maniac hissed. "All these years I've been waiting for this moment. You were part of the experiment, and now it's time for the finale." "Who are you?" Ermek asked. "I am a shadow of the past. You forgot me, but I always remembered you." The maniac rushed at Ermek. A brutal fight ensued. Mikhail fired, but the maniac managed to wound Ermek. "This is not the end," the maniac whispered before his body fell to the floor. Epilogue. The shadows remain. A few weeks later, Ermek sat in his office. The murders had stopped, but he did not feel relief. The symbols on the victims' bodies were still a mystery. "Do you think this is really the end?" Mikhail asked. Ermek thought about it. "No, shadows never disappear completely. We just learn to live with them." A telephone rang in the distance. Ermek knew this story wasn't over yet.